Today on Shagbark DIY, we are in the kitchen and I'm going to show you how to make croissants by hand. For this, you're going to need flour, for this job you're going to need a rolling pin or two. You're going to need a thermometer and a wooden spoon, pastry brush, a pizza cutter, a scale, and a scraper. Also going to need a bowl of some sort, and once we're baking, we're going to need a baking sheet and probably some parchment to line it. And the ingredients you're going to need are flour, of course. You can just wipe some of it off of your face into the bowl, or and the type of flour you're going to need is white, hard, unbleached flour. You can use all-purpose too, but I think hard flour is better. So flour looks like this, country style flour. You need some milk and salt, sugar, water, and some yeast. I usually use quick rise or fresh yeast if you can find it. And butter, unsalted butter. Now we're going to get started. The first step is to mix the dough. So first you add, first you get your scale on, and then we'll add the sugar. It's 90 grams of sugar, 10 grams of yeast, and 10 grams of salt. This might seem like a lot of salt, but we're using unsalted butter, so this helps to make up for that. Then we'll add our water. This is where you want to check the temperature. So we want ideally between the water and the milk to be fairly warm. This is close to 30 degrees. And this is about 20 degrees, so that should work out about right. It can be a little warmer than that too. Okay, water, milk. Stir that up a little bit. Then add your flour. Half a kilo. And then we mix that up. And you don't want to mix this too much. It's not like bread dough where you sort of knead out all the lumps. Well, you knead out all the lumps, but then that would be it. You don't want to work the dough after that. It's a fairly stiff dough. So we probably will need to use our hands. Scoop out the bowl. You need this on the bench. Now you just want to knead it so you get everything thoroughly mixed. All these little chunks integrated into the dough. Right, and that's it. That's good enough. Because with the croissant dough, the lamination is going to keep working it, and if we overwork it now, it'll have more of a chewy texture. We want kind of more of a flaky, delicious pastry. So this is perfect. Let's cover that up and let it rise. Finally, this dough is ready. It's been like, anyway, it's been like too long. So usually this takes about an hour to rise to this stage here. And so you probably want to kind of put it in a warm spot or make your oven to a proofer, which I'm going to show you later for the proof stage, to speed the rising up. And also, I think I probably mentioned that in a note to put less sugar in than I originally said. This recipe only takes 65 grams of sugar, not 90 as I put here. So this part we just pop the dough out, scraper, and then a little bit of flour on the bench. Just kind of loosely shape it into a, kind of like if you were shaping a little loaf of bread. And then put it in a greased, lightly oiled pan and cover it up. And then just put it in the fridge or the freezer for about 45 minutes. After about half an hour, take your butter out of the fridge and weigh off 275 grams in slices like this. That much. More. Just need one more. Cream this with some flour, and the purpose of this is to get some of the water out of the dough, which will help in the laminating process. I use a pasta pin for this job, and you can use a regular rolling pin too if that's all you have, or a French stick works very well. Continue to pound the crap out of the butter, adding flour as necessary until it has a nice smooth texture. Hey, that's smooth. Then get your croissant dough out of the fridge or freezer once you're done creaming the butter, and put it out on the bench. A bit of flour. We just want to stretch it out so that it's about 3 times the size of our butter. Dough is ready. Now we just drop the butter in the middle of it like that, and then we fold sides in there and here. Now we just kind of wrap it up like a little butter present. And get some more flour on the bench. And we're just going to roll it out to about the same size that it was before. And then fold it. This is the first fold. We're going to fold it like a letter. And which is considered to be a single fold. So we're just going to fold this into basically evenly into thirds like that. Get this pin out of the way and get our pan back out, and then this in here. You can mark it if you think you're going to forget by putting a little 1. So we know we've only done one fold. I'm going to cover it back up and stick it back in the fridge or freezer for about 15 minutes.
After 15 minutes, remove your dough from the fridge.
Now the second fold is just the same as the first one. Just take it out. Roll it back out to about the same size as it was. So same sort of letter fold. Push some flour off that, and just mark it too, so we remember. Back in a little tray and back in the fridge for another 15.
After 15 minutes, remove your dough from the fridge.
So we're ready for the third and final fold of the croissant dough. And so this fold's a little bit different. It's rolled out pretty much the same way as the last couple of times. So now this time we're going to fold it like a book. So we fold each end into the center and fold it in half. This is considered to be 1.5 folds returns. So we just do it for the last one, so I don't need to mark it. We'll be able to remember because it looks different. And this time we need to chill it for about 45 minutes before we do the final shaping. So we had to move into the longer counter here in the kitchen, so sorry if this is harder for you to see. We're ready to shape the final dough here. Well, a couple other things that you might want to have for this job is a meter stick, either metric or imperial or both, and some sort of dusting brush. And so our piece is ready to go. So this time we're rolling it out differently. We're gonna basically roll it out 28 inches long, which is something like 72 centimeters. And then just mark it off at 4 inches along the bottom, and then at 4 on the top, sort of staggered so that it meets up with the middle of the opposing side. So I'm going to cut it at an angle like this. Do this upside down so you get triangular shaped pieces, and you can just do one direction and then cross and do the opposite. You can probably do this with a knife too if you don't have a pizza cutter, as long as it's long enough. So now we just dust off these on both sides. Now we take our scraper and then we put a little cut in the middle of all of them, like that. And then we got our pastry brush with some water, and then brush all of them. So now to shape them, just grab the corners and pull it out a little bit, and then sort of grab where you cut it, and then you fold this part into the middle like that, and then stretch it so we get sort of a flat side at the bottom here, and then you just basically just roll it up after that. And if you want to curve them in, you can curve the sides in like that. But I usually don't, because butter croissants are usually straight like this, and you can see there maybe that the layers already formed in this. It looks like they're pretty clear. Be able to see them better once it's risen. And so you just keep doing that with the rest of them. All the way down the line. Now, just for fun, we might put some almond paste in some of them. Usually almond croissants or chocolate are shaped differently, but we're going to stick some almond paste right in the middle of this kind of croissant and see how that goes. So So we got our croissants trayed up on a tray with parchment paper, and we're just going to brush them with some egg wash, which is just a whole egg that's been beaten up. Poor thing. But these sacrifices have to be made for the greater good. Now we might put some sliced almonds on some of these ones with almond and chocolate in them, which sounds just, or happens just like it sounds. Just put some almonds on top. Okay, there we go. And now we'll just put them in our makeshift proofer and let them ride. So here's our makeshift proofer. It's just a regular oven, don't mind the cleanliness of it. And we just put a pot with boiling water in it, like right on the bottom. And we don't want to heat any singular croissants too much. I can't roll those over. And then just leave the light on in the oven and close the door and wait for them to rise. Alright, these croissants are ready to go and they look awesome. Check them out. Check out those layers. You can really see the layers on them. The oven's ready. It's at 400. So we're gonna throw them in.
Magically, after 17 minutes, the croissants are ready to take out of the oven.
Thanks for watching this video. I hope that you're going to make lots of delicious pastries in the future. Don't forget to check out my blog, shagbarkblog.wordpress.com, for regular DIY and other fun posts. Plus find me on Facebook, facebook.com/shagbarkdiy. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and there's more baking and auto repair videos coming up, plus an exciting new campaign that you won't want to miss, so stay tuned.